Good morning. How are you doing? All right, class. Well, here's what we're going to do today. Today, we are going to be working on a wonderful little model. This right here, everybody should have one of these. Does everybody have one? Perfect. So what we're going to need is we're going to need to put this down and we're going to read it. Create a model that shows the relationship between the starting materials and the ending materials, or how mass is conserved in the lab we did yesterday. But we're going to do the lab right now. Not really yesterday. So your model should show all of the lab materials. So your lab materials are white vinegar, your flask, a small simple scale, and baking soda, 1 or 2 balloons, because sometimes these break. So what you're first going to want to do is you're going to want to stretch open your balloon just a little bit, and then you're going to want to pour some baking soda in a balloon. Before we do that, we need to find a spoon, because I find the spoons work easier to scooping it in. So what you're going to do is you're going to scoop in some baking soda, and we're going to take the weight of everything. That's why we need the scale. It is most important that we do that. So before I do the baking soda and the balloon, I'm going to take the scale. I'm going to put the flask on the scale first. Then I'm going to turn it on, because that takes the tare away from the flask. So it takes the weight of the flask and makes it negative. And now I'm going to add vinegar to it, approximately about 75 milliliters or a little less. Right at 75 should be perfect. Steady, Mrs. Henderson. Right at 75 milliliters, which gives us a gradual weight of 63.1 grams. 63.1 grams, okay? That's how much we have in our flask of vinegar. Now, we have to find ourselves a wonderful little, here it is, baking soda's in front of me. Come on, lady, get it together. All right, so we're going to put in, return back our first scale, so it clears everything out. You always want to turn off your scale first to clear it all out. That way there, the memory's wiped of it, and you don't have a problem with doing the tare. So it's an empty balloon. If I turn on my scale, I lay the empty balloon on it. It really doesn't weigh anything. Yeah, it doesn't really weigh any type of anything, but I'm going to scoop in about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of baking soda should do it. If I can get my balloon to work with me. I don't want to break my balloon. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so I found a funnel, and I'm going to put my balloon on the end of the funnel, because I think that's going to be, oh, it's magic. Yay! Okay, so 1 teaspoon of baking soda right inside our balloon. It's going to take it a second, squish it all in there. Okay, now for this one, I don't need to take a tare, because like I said, the balloon really doesn't weigh enough to really matter. So we're going to lay the balloon on there. Okay, the balloon with the baking soda weighs 15.9 grams. 15.9 grams. Okay, so that's important, because we're going to put everything together. I'm going to take the balloon and stretch it over top. I'm going to clear out. Oh, my scale's already clear. Good job, scale. Scale's working faster than I am this morning. Let's see if we don't break the balloon, Mrs. Henderson. All right, now I'm going to take the balloon, set it on the balloon and flask on top. Now we have a whole new mass. Our new mass is 174.9. The new mass is 174.9. Okay? So our job really is, do we lose mass or do we gain mass when we do our experiment? Okay, so you guys ready for this experiment? I think it's really cool. So this is one of my favorite experiments. I'm going to hold it in my hand because my little camera doesn't want to adjust downwards. So what I'm going to do is, now do you remember what your paper looked like? There was 2 flasks. So what you do with the very first flask, the flask on the left side, you're going to draw this. You're going to draw where the vinegar's at, where the balloon is at, where the baking soda's at. Okay? All right. You got that down? Perfect. Now, I'm going to flip the balloon. I'm going to hold it as steady as I can. I'm going to flip the balloon up, and I'm going to let you see something I think is really cool. This hopefully doesn't... Oh! What did we do? Oh, it's directed right at my face. It's probably going to pop. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It's filling up nicely. Now, my question is it going to be the same weight? Well, let's find out. Give it a second. Let it stop foaming. Do you see all that foam? That was just the right amount. Now, there's no more foam. The gas is in the top. Does anybody know the name of the gas that's inside this balloon? Oh, perfect. I'm glad you do. Make sure that you write that in the middle of your paper, okay? That's going to be important for later. So now I'm going to turn back on my scale because it turned off. Set it back on. Look at that. It's exactly the same. The weight after the chemical reaction is exactly the same. Because what we're learning here is that mass cannot be, correct, created or destroyed. So if I have a chemical reaction like this, my mass didn't go anywhere. Questions? Yes. No, because I did not allow the gas to escape. Now, had I allowed the gas to escape, there would have been a little bit of a variation, but everything's still in a sealed container. So that's why it didn't escape. Okay, so the law states that mass cannot be created or destroyed. We didn't destroy mass, and we didn't create new mass. I know we created a new substance, which is the gas that's held inside the balloon. I'll show you the fun things we'll do with it afterwards. But for right now, what I want you to do is when you get out your paper, so you remember the first one I had you draw where the balloon was kind of dropped over and where the vinegar was? Guess what? The vinegar stayed the same. It's in the same spot. So on this side, draw the line where the vinegar's at. Draw the balloon, but how does the balloon look? Is the balloon different from here? Very good. That's right. The balloon is now inflated, so you're just going to draw an inflated balloon. If you don't want to use this sheet of paper, that's perfectly fine. If you want to make it better on a bigger piece of paper or on a piece of construction paper, that's perfectly fine too. Just make sure you label it and you put your name on it. Now, see the center section right here in the middle? Okay, good. I want you to write down my steps. What was my process? What did we do first? What did we do next? What was after that? And the last couple of things that had happened. So I really want you to understand what had happened when I did the science experiment. Can you do that for me? Oh, that'd be perfect. Thank you. All right, guys. I think that's it for today's lesson. What do you think? Yeah. Oh, one more thing before we go, though. One more. I promise. One more fun thing. You guys ready? Ready? Okay, here we go. Yay! Bye, guys. I'll see you soon.